Okay, so now we want to trim this area here. And you'll notice the screen go out like that when I accidentally tap the screen more than once at a time. Now, you'll find to get to a point where some areas you have to take out the entire line or it won't cooperate with you. So now you want to, these pixels work kind of like shadows. So you want to run with the grain, so to speak. Whichever way the shadow seems to be going, that's the way you want to go. Because if you go against it, you'll make an obvious spot where it'll be very easy to see you made an adjustment in that area. And you take this line and voila, you have a solid trunk here, where before you had two segmented pieces. So now, where this joins together back here, you take this line out. Now, the shoulder joint can be complicated, but it can also be easy if you get it in the right sequence. So you have to, like I said, little bitty changes, small changes, tiny bit at a time. If you get too aggressive, this area will just look a mess when you're finished. You want to try to stick with what the toy manufacturer was trying to achieve with the shape of the figure. Now, the deltoids up here, you don't want them to look separated from the rest of the shoulder, so you have to go in there and make those little changes. Now, there's a seam, there's a plastic connection running right there on the top of the bicep. Get rid of that. Now, this is one of those areas where you go little at a time. And then you can kind of join the pixels like this. And you'll find eventually it kind of becomes like painting because I like to use the stylus. So it kind of becomes like painting. And you just develop a touch with the picture where you know what is going to happen. And then you have to be able to respond when the program throws you a curveball. And you just go through, make your changes. And remember, in these situations, less is always better. The less you can change the image and achieve the result you want, the less you can disturb the pixels in the image, the better off your final image will be. Now, another problem, the groin. And the reason why is because obviously there's no body here. It's just a hollow piece of plastic where they've joined pegs that connect these legs in there. Unfortunately, when the legs are used to pose, this creates a big open space here. So I've found that the best compromise you can come up with really is to try to eliminate the shadow between the edge of the brief here and the inner thigh. That's about as good a correction as you're going to get, because the more you fiddle with this area, the worse it's going to look, trust me. So now we'll move on. You take these little places where you can see where the plastic was joined together, and there's another gap on the other side of his briefs there at his groin, but obviously you can't see it because of the angle. So don't bother with it. If it's not going to affect the image, don't mess with it. You go through and make your little changes here. These joints are better joined like that from top to bottom, and then run across this line and eliminate it. Sometimes you'll have to back up and do it a little differently, because sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate with you. Now, keep in mind, I am teaching myself this as I'm telling you. That's the thing here. This is a whole new art form that we're going to forge together. And I'm trying to get these little initial baby steps correct, so we don't have this problem later on trying to figure out how it's supposed to work. So now, there. You'll find the boots, because they're red like this, you'll find that they're kind of hard to disguise the line sometimes, depending on the way the light is. But if you follow the shadow, that's like rule number 1, follow the shadow. And tiny changes. Disturb the image as little as possible. As long as you stay where the shadow is going, normally you'll come out with a decent. Now, here's a good spot for it. This is an overlap that happens sometimes because obviously they can't make the ankle joint work like a real one does. So this solid piece here will stick out, and all you usually have to do, kind of like a hangnail, just eliminate it. Then you'll go across and make the rest of your changes. And then just a little joining of the areas between the two, and you have a foot. Now, you go up here and take out the changes, the joints in the knee. You find this solid ridge here, and see how that just kind of disappeared? You'll have that, and it'll feel good sometimes because it makes it so much easier when it just goes the way you plan. Now, here's one of those areas where you have to take out this entire line here. In there. And there you have it. Superman. Now he's ready to go into whatever particular scene you want to put him in.